Welcome to class. I am so sorry about what happened last week with chapter 16. I thought I had mailed it to Christine, emailed it, but I guess it didn't go through, and I apologize that it didn't work out that way and that I'm glad you guys were able to read the chapter. Thank you, Jayla, for helping. We're on our last chapter. I can't even believe it that we've had this much time together. Chapter 17 is called The Circle. So if you want to turn your books to page 131. There is nothing that is more complete than a circle. This is your cloak against the world. It is your protection against doubt, against failure. The circle is complete. It has no beginning and it has no end. You are also complete. All you need, you have. So many of us think that we are missing something. You already have what you need. You simply need to find it. Now let's get back to the circle. Look at everything you do as a completed task. Whatever you do or attempt to do in your life, try to see it as already done. Envision in your mind's eye, in your imagination, a finished product. If you can see yourself starting something, also see yourself as finishing what you want. If you open something, close it. It just makes common sense. Why should you wait for someone else to come along and close what you've opened? The circle is a big thing in my life. I see everything as complete. When it was basketball, I always saw the ball in the basket when I released it. I always saw it through the basket. If you study karate and you're breaking a board, you see the board is already broken before you hit it. You see behind the object that you are hitting. You don't just stop at the object, but you see more. You see through the object. Everything that has ever happened started as an idea. If you believe in anything enough, it will happen, either by your hands or the hands of someone else, but it will happen. You can pick any spot in the circle as the beginning, and you can pick any spot as the end. In life, if you can see a beginning, you must also see an end. You have to do your part and work toward that end, but you won't be the determining factor. You may set the intention, but then you let go. You have to trust in something that is greater than yourself to make it happen when the time is right. Here we return to having faith and a positive outlook. Trust your own instincts and, more importantly, have faith in that force that connects all things. Remember that circle has no beginning and it has no end. Some lessons have to be learned over and over, and some of you can learn once and move on to the next. Don't rely on your gifts alone, but be sure to make the sacrifice and do the work to make things happen. By forming discipline and good habits, you give yourself a solid foundation from which anything is possible. See the task as complete and do everything in your power to make it happen. If you have no foundation, you have nowhere to turn when things go away. If you fly by the seat of your pants, how do you fly when you have no pants? This happens to a lot of good ball players. They all have natural talent but don't work on their game. When they're elevated to the next level where everyone is good and has also worked hard to excel, those who haven't worked usually fall by the wayside. If it's easy, it might be great today, but I'll tell you, and I hope you listen to this, one day you'll be starting over again. Do you want your foundation to be weak or strong? The same is true of those great students who don't learn to study. They might get good grades in high school, but when they go to college, they find that the work is harder and they have very bad study habits. Consequently, their grades aren't that great. And they don't really know how to change it all around. Then they have to start all over again and learn the proper way to study in order to stay in school. The circle is continuous. Count your blessings. Someone once said, Let gratitude be your attitude. This is a simple process. We should give thanks for all the things that come to us each and every day. We take so many things for granted. Give thanks for waking up each day, for the food you eat, and for all the good things that happen to you. It's a good habit to form. The more you do this, the less you will take anything for granted. Nothing is just supposed to be the way it is. Let that be the first thought that comes to your mind each morning. It didn't happen because there was no other way for things to turn out. It definitely doesn't have to be this way. This understanding shifts the focus more to the giving mode than the taking mode. Those with this awareness tend to be much more humble. People get so hung up on all the material things they think they need. They want and take for granted that they can walk around, that they can see, that they are alive. Just count your blessings, both big and small, each and every day. If you focus on all the things that you have, a warm bed to sleep in, food to eat, friends and family to love, it will remind you of what is truly important, for you are greatly blessed. I discovered the manuscript for this book with a woman who told me that she had been reading more positive books, and they had made all the difference in her life. She used to think her beauty was in the makeup she wore and how her hair was styled. She told me that now the way she looked was the way she felt. Before little things could wreck her entire day. The way people treated her could affect her outlook as well as her self-image. Now she gets up in the morning, gives thanks for the day. She rolls back the curtains and listens for a bird singing or feels the sun on her face. She gives thanks, whatever the weather. She smells the beauty of life, and this starts her day. From there, nothing that people can do make any impact on her outlook on life. She enjoys wonderful conversations with many people, and they make her feel special. She is now in control of her own mood and ultimately her destiny. Giving back. Ralph Waldo Emerson said, "The only gift is a portion of thyself." The best way to give thanks is to share what you've gotten, to give it back to others. I've run across several people of late who have let me know that writing this book was the right thing to do. They told me of the difficulties of life before they came into the light of understanding and love. They told me how with limited knowledge and confidence they struggled to make decisions and just weren't sure of themselves. I'm happy to share what I've learned to help others overcome those obstacles, just as so many people have helped me. The circle continues. We give and we receive. We keep the cycle going. The most important thing about giving to others is that you can never know what impact on the world your help may have. When you look at a child, you can't see whether the cure for cancer is locked away inside of him or her. But if it is, it may never come out without encouragement. People have enormous potential that we can't know until their gifts have been unlocked, until they've seen their visions for their own futures. Some people may be able to do it on their own, but most of us need a helping hand. Sometimes all people need is to realize that other people care about what happens to them. That inspires them to work harder because they want those other people to be proud of them. There are a lot of distractions out there that make life hard and make dreams seem impossible. Do what you can to light the path for others. My circle of mentors. It's funny, but a lot of people who came into my life come into it for a reason. That is what keeps me positive and keeps me moving forward. Phil Knight became one of my mentors and has led me along the path of business. If we go back to the circle, Phil coming into my professional life was the same as Coach Hathaway coming in and when I first started to play basketball. Phil directs me in making decisions that are extremely important in my life. Phil has been in my corner ever since we met. I don't know why the relationship between my family and the Knights became special. I think it was something that the forces of the universe just put together. It was the same with Coach Hathaway and Barbara. Barbara is Coach Hathaway's wife, and she was like a mother to me. She cared for me just like I was one of hers. I remember when college coaches would come to see me play, she would give them the third degree. She would talk to them about education and what the school had to offer me as a student athlete. Half the time I didn't know what she was talking about. She was on her way, on her own path, but it turned out to be great for me. The Hathaways were and still are to this day just caring people. Now, just as Coach Hathaway took me aside and told me that I could be just like the Big O, Phil took me aside one day when we were in his inner office. We were talking about the future. My question to him was, how far could I go in the company? He pointed to his chair and said I could get all the way to that seat. That made me smile on the inside and on the outside too, I think. I don't know how far I will go at Nike, but I like the way that he thinks. That type of confidence is something that inspires people to great heights. In the business world, Phil has been the same as Coach Hathaway was in the world of sports and basketball. He has given me a picture to look onto and see. He has given me a vision. Sometimes eyes cannot see and ears cannot hear. That just happens to most people. Don't let that be you. Listen to those people who come into your life to help you. Whether my dream happens exactly as I expected is not important. Where I end up is not up to me, but rather up to the infinite intelligence. What is up to me is to work my hardest to make the best out of what I have before me. This allows me to experience other unforeseen opportunities as they arise. Remember the incident of me being investigated by the FBI? Penny Knight fought for me just as Barbara Hathaway had fought for me. Penny wanted me to fight back. I didn't know who to fight. I have no fear in these matters because I know that if one door closes, it only means that a bigger one will open. Just have faith and be trusting, and the right thing will happen. Our faith must be tested. How else will we know how truly strong we are or need to be? Now, I'm not saying that you should read this book and go right out and stare your enemy down and feel that you can't hurt you. Sadly, we've entered a time when people shoot people for looking at them the wrong way. The fact is, this is something that takes time. You have to work on developing this faith and trust in the ways of the world and know that you are part of all things and all things are a part of you. If you have the most powerful force in the universe on your side, whom will you fear? The trick to this is always knowing this force is there. Oftentimes we don't believe it because this is something we can't see in the physical world, or because something bad happens and we don't see how things will ever be good again. But it is there, always there. Rule number 1 and rule number 101. The most important rule in life is the simplest thing in the world. It is the first rule that we learned in school. They still teach it. We just seem to forget all too easily. Rule number 1 and rule number 101 is the golden rule. This does not mean he who has the gold rules. The real meaning and the one that does and the one that do you the most good is, do unto others as you would have them do unto you. I once asked a good friend of mine who happens to be the CEO of a Fortune 500 company to what he owed his success. He felt that what he did was treat people the way he himself wanted to be treated. I saw him going around his office addressing each of the employees by their first name. This was quite impressive. He got it. He treated them the way he wanted to be treated. Here is the power of the circle once again. You get back what you put out. You get what you give. I am you, you are me, we are one. And together we can make this a better world. If I can be the vice president of the #1 sports and fitness apparel company in the world, you can be anything you desire. We all have tough times, but that is what really makes life worth living. This summer, my life flashed before my eyes. I kept having shortness of breath, and it got worse and worse. At first, I thought I was just in a horrible shape since I'd recently had a hip replacement. In the end, I got so bad, my wife ended up rushing me to the ER, and they admitted me into the hospital. I was later diagnosed with congestive heart failure. I was as healthy as I thought anyone could be. I ate good, exercised regularly, I wasn't a drinker, I never smoked. This diagnosis didn't seem to add up. But it also taught me that there are no guarantees in life. One day all is well, and the next second things can all change. Like what Beyonce sings about in one of her songs. I went to bed on top of the world and woke up with the world on top of me. My undergoing numerous tests and sending samples to the Mayo Clinic, my doctor visited me in my hospital room one afternoon and explained that though they didn't have all the results quite yet, I may end up needing a heart transplant. I know this isn't the news you want to hear, he said, but I just want to prepare you for the worst. It was very hard news, but there are things in life that are difficult. As we spoke, I got over the initial shock and started to ask questions in order to prepare for the road ahead. What has gotten me where I am in life is my faith and belief. I was prepared for whatever we had to do, and I told my doctor that I'm putting my faith in him and that God will bring me through this journey. The doctors left, but only a short while later he returned, closing the door behind him. He looked at Donna and said, "I've never seen anyone with this amount of faith. It is truly inspiring." This book is a testimony to how I have chosen to live my life. Oh, and by the way, the results did finally come back. I didn't need a heart transplant. They felt they could control my complications with medications. Believe to achieve. See the invisible and do the impossible. I hope you're able to overcome all of your adversity in life. As you travel through life, the circle will be your protection. Your apprenticeship may be difficult at times, and you will have many trials and tribulations. But these moments will define your true character. Only through these trials can you achieve your ultimate goal. Your fate will be in your hands, and you will be the master of your destiny. You will recognize your choices and make right decisions. You will have confidence in all you do. When you come full circle, you then will have the responsibility and obligation to lead those who follow. Through perseverance and faith, you will achieve the ultimate goal of becoming I master. And I meditation. And I am. I am a source of power and positive thought in this world. I am for all things that are right and wonderful. This new magnificent power flows through me and makes me whole. It gives me all that I need to make things happen. I am full of life. Each of my cells is filled with light. I no longer do great things, but great things happen through me, for I am already part of them. I do my best when I am still and in tune with my inner self. When I know this inner thought, I know who I am. I see myself as a wonder of the universe. I am now a part of all things, and all things are a part of me. I am a being of strength and direction who is focused, and I have my eye on the sparrow. I keep my temper at all times because I'm in control of myself. I have the courage and strength to walk away from any disagreeable situation. If I must stand, I do so in truth, in honesty, and with renewed power and strength. When I meet people, I realize they have come into my life for a reason. I'm open to what they offer for me to learn, and I look forward to learning new and exciting things. I am a resource of learning for others, and I will teach what I know to those who want to hear. Just as an eagle can see a fish swoop down and catch it while barely touching the water, I realize that I can do many things, for I have the same perfection in me. I am a special creation of the universe. I am unique. I will never again think that I am something less than I really am. And I am, and I. Wow. That's beautiful. I got a little bit choked up thinking that he had the heart failure and thinking right away we need to start praying for him. And I'm so grateful that he doesn't need the heart transplant. That brought joy to my heart as I was reading that. I'm sure you probably felt the same way. You know, there's so much in here that, and just summarizing everything that we've learned about hope, about faith, about pressing through. Each chapter has such powerful messages of who you can be. And summing it up to the circle is remarkable because you are just in that circle. And faith is a verb. You know, it's an action word. You have to act out your faith. And I like how he says that sometimes we have to go through things in order for our faith to get stronger, which is true. He overcame something with health at the end that we just read, and I am positive his faith is so much stronger now because he came through that. And sometimes, you know, we ask for things in faith, and it's okay to pray, and just like he said many times in this book. But to know that you are a part of everything that you step into, and to watch the things that you step into is important. The messages throughout the book is to instill yourself into the things that are good, the things that can be good for you. There's no reason to step into situations that you know inside are negative. Fill yourself with positive affirmations of who you are. Don't allow the words from others that come in saying that you could never achieve anything, because we just read some powerful chapters of what you can achieve in life. Stay faithful. I've enjoyed my time with you. I'm excited to see what's going to happen after this video and looking at all your projects. And I've truly enjoyed this time with you. Just wanted you to hear that from me on the video, and you'll hear it from me in person. So until next class, we have graduation. Enjoy the rest of your class today. Bye.